Alright, with Money in the Bank 2023 finally in the books, let's talk about it. But before we do, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
This video is sponsored by SeatGeek. If you don't know what SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. They out a 0 to 10 score on each ticket to know whether you're getting a good or a bad deal. The green bubble means good, the yellow button means fair, and obviously the red equals bad. And you're probably wondering, why am I telling you all this? Well, it's because once you download the SeatGeek app for the first time, you get $20 off your first purchase. If you're watching this on Instagram, the link to the app will be in my bio. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link to the app will be in the description below. Now I'm going to show you how the app works.
Once you're in the SeatGeek app, it'll automatically show you all the upcoming events that's going on near you. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in my place, like Drake and 21 Savage. But for me, I'm trying to go to AEW Collision soon. Now, as you can see, all the green bubbles show great prices for you, and that's fitting and the less expensive prices. As you can see, most of them are pretty cheap. And you go down and then you see the red. And as you can see, the red is $1,600. Nobody wants to pay that much. So once you get your tickets, you can also look at this as the listings and make it easier for you. Click on the one that you want. It'll show you all the details and how you can refund if you don't want them. After that, you click continue. It'll show you everything from there, shows you the event, shows you all the detail, once again, how many tickets. Then you click on have code and put in code NEZ. So once again, when you download the app, you can use code NEZ to get $20 off your first purchase.
And thank you so much for SeatGeek for sponsoring this video.
Alright, with the show headlining by the Civil War, obviously this was going to be a great Money in the Bank. However, I have a trigger warning just to let you know, but let's get started with Money in the Bank. There's a lot to this show that I really need to discuss. People have been saying this is a 10 out of 10 show, best pay-per-view of the year, and I'm just going to let you know right now, it's not. But I do have a lot to say. It is a great pay-per-view, but there's much I have to say, because honestly, you're going to get the best of me when it comes to me being real with you guys. I'll never lie to you guys. I'll never fake a reaction. I'll never do that, because you guys deserve to hear what's the right and the wrongs about what happened. And there's a lot to like about this show, but I'm going to go through it. Just let you know there's a trigger at the end, but, just be ready. So we first start off with the men's Money in the Bank, which was shocking. I'm like, okay, so we're going to start off with the men's. And I'm going to tell you right now, this has been the best Money in the Bank men's match since they started doing the green briefcase, in my all honesty. We all know we wanted LA Knight to win. We all know he was the favorite. He's super over. He did it organically. I discussed this before in a different video, and how we don't like Logan Paul. And London makes sure you knew that they didn't like him, and they made sure that Logan knew that they didn't like him. So, that was my worry, that they were going to let it happen because, Vince loves him. The beginning, when they started jumping Logan, I was like, yeah, perfect. At least they know the tone of the match. But this match, like I said, it was solid. Ricochet and Logan Paul almost killed themselves. Hopefully Logan's all right, because it looked like he landed pretty bad. But this match really was great. Everybody had a nice spot. LA Knight did a good job. As soon as we thought LA was going to win, Damian Priest decided, fuck that, I'm going to win. And my God, what an upset victory that was. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I was mad about this, because at the end of the day, here's what happened. Vince was a Logan Paul guy and Triple H was a LA Knight guy. So what they did, they met in the middle. So nobody got what they wanted, and they met in the middle, and Damian Priest was the guy. And it's fine. I'm okay with that, only because it does make sense with the whole Finn Balor Judgment Day kind of thing. It seems like it's going that direction where they're going to break up Damian from the group. So it's going to be surprising to see what happens. Next was the snooze fest, Ronda, Shayna versus Liv and Raquel. And I'm going to be honest, it wasn't a bad match. It really wasn't. Ronda's still bad, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And there was a lot to this where I was like, that was weird. But overall, I did not expect Raquel and Liv to win, all because Shayna and Ronda should be unbeatable when it comes to the tag teams. Number one, because there's not any real tag teams. But, it's whatever. The match was cool. for what it was. Still type boring to me because I quite frankly don't care about the women's tag division that doesn't exist. However, when Shayna turned heel, I was like, what the fuck? Like, this was so random. There was no build up to this or nothing. It just happened. So I was like, okay, good. Shayna's going to be a single star because she deserves it. She does not deserve to be a part of this bullshit division. So I was like, great. So now Liv and Raquel are the tag team champions once again. And shout out to Ronda. I'm not going to lie. With the Majin Buu Vegeta outfit she came in with and the forehead Majin, that was dope. But I'm going to tell you guys what happened. So I think the reason that Shayna and Ronda are splitting up is because I think they're going to have a match at SummerSlam, and then Ronda's going to make her return in UFC. That's been the rumor to happen. And I was like, that makes sense. I mean, I'm cool with that because Ronda is not a good pro wrestler. She's better as a UFC fighter. Now, I heard the reasoning was because Amanda Nunes retired, so they wanted somebody like Ronda Rousey to take over. And I feel like that's such a pussy move. The fact that Amanda Nunes retired after you got absolutely washed by her, now you decide to come back since she's gone, it's kind of a pussy move if it's from her that wanted to do that. But at the end of the day, it's just a rumor. I hope she chooses the right path. Next up was Gunther and Matt Riddle. This was obviously not going to go Riddle's way. This was just Gunther getting another win. And honestly, this could have been a TV show match. I'm not going to lie. That's why I didn't like it. I'm glad that Gunther got to be on a pay-per-view, but against Matt Riddle, it just didn't seem like a pay-per-view type of match, if you get what I'm going through. Not saying Matt Riddle isn't bad. I'm a fan of Matt Riddle, but it's just like we all know Gunther is just absolutely amazing, and he's not going to lose to Matt Riddle. And it just felt kind of pointless to me. It wasn't a bad match, but this felt like a TV show match. And obviously, Gunther hit him with a submission, and, it was whatever. Fine. Matt Riddle lost. Now on to Gunther, who's going to be his next opponent. And then we got the return of Mr. Drew McIntyre, which makes sense. I mean, we haven't seen him since April, and there were some situations that we heard about, controversy and stuff with him in the contracts and stuff, but it seems like he's going to get his way, and he's going to get a match at the IC title soon. Then we had Cody versus Dominik. Now, I love the heat that Dominik's still getting, and we obviously needed Cody Rhodes on a pay-per-view, obviously, but this was also another TV match. Like, no offense to Dominik, but having him against Cody in a pay-per-view, it felt like this was just here just to get Cody on the pay-per-view, because if Brock wasn't going to come out and interfere, then it was just going to be a squash between him and Dominik, because he's not going to beat Cody clean. And obviously, the London crowd with the whoa, and it was actually singing this whole song, so that was pretty dope. But anyways, yeah, it wasn't going to be nothing crazy in this match. Another TV match. Not a bad match saying anything, because I don't think Cody can ever put on a bad match, but it's just like, it's a whatever thing, you know what I mean? It had no true build-up to it. So, nothing crazy. Fine. Then we got John Cena, one of the GOATs of professional wrestling. That was a shocker. They kept that a secret because we was all shocked. Everybody in London and I was shocked too, because it was like, this was so like out of nowhere. And I love Cena, so I was like, it's always going to have Cena on TV. So he was basically there just to kind of promote that WrestleMania is most likely going to be in London, and he's trying to get that to do it because that's what they deserve. And I 100% agree, because nothing is bigger than a Europe and a London crowd. They are the best in the world. I'm sorry, but we all know that. Sorry about the US, but we all know London is just better when it comes to the crowd. Then we had Grayson Waller come out. Obviously, he was only here to get a AA from John Cena. Obviously, because Cena was in his ring gear, we all know it was just going to be like that. So they just had a quick little conversation. Grayson Waller said that WrestleMania should be in Australia because it's the best place on earth. Obviously, he was going to say that because he's Australian. And it was just nothing crazy. It was a quick little segment. Cena hit him with an AA and then took off his shirt and left. Nothing crazy, but it's always good to see Cena on my TV, so I was happy about that. Next was the Women's Money in the Bank, and I'm going to say this right now. This was the best Women's Money in the Bank ever since it was created. I'm not going to lie, because everyone was lackluster, but this match was just great. Everybody had their parts, and it was just awesome. You got like Trish and Zoe going against Becky, obviously that storyline going on. It was just a crazy thing. You knew it was going to be crazy. Every spot was exciting. Zelina Vega even got her shine in a moment, which I was like, damn, I hope her and Zoe okay, because that spot was absolutely devastating. Io Shirai doing moonsaults. Remember when she did it with the trash can over herself in NXT, back when NXT actually existed? That was the kind of feel Io we had today, and that was amazing. And I couldn't agree more. And then when freaking Zelina did her spot, absolutely brutal. I hope she's okay, because that was just disgusting. Loved it. And then we had the best part of the match where Io was about to win, and then Bayley low-key turned on her, and then Becky and Bayley had it, and then Io, using and being smart, used the handcuffs that they already had on each other and cuffed them together, and then went up for the Money in the Bank. And that was genius. One of the most genius moves ever pulled in a Money in the Bank. Io was obviously the right person to pick because she deserves it. And I hope she chooses Asuka to cash it in on, but hopefully it's later on in the line. Then we have Seth versus Finn Balor. Great match, but once again, it felt like a TV match. It did not to be on a pay-per-view because it wasn't as crazy as we thought it was going to be. London crowd obviously going crazy for Seth Rollins. It took like 5 minutes for the match to start because they kept singing Seth Rollins' song, which I'm okay with because you gotta love the London crowd. But as I was saying, that Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor was obviously going to be a great match, but it didn't feel like a pay-per-view match, in my opinion. It just felt like, a Monday Night Raw world title match. That's how it felt, and I'll stick by that because that's how it looked, that's how the mood was, and that's just how it was. And I feel like it was just here on the show just to make sure, Damian Priest could possibly get and interfere in this match, and that's exactly what low-key happened. He wasn't really interfering, but he was there to tease it, which I like. It was a tease of, is he going to cash in on Seth? Is he going to cash in on Balor? What is he going to do? And I like that. I like where they're going with this, and Seth Rollins wins, and that's it for that. Like I said, a TV show match. Wasn't a bad match at all, but it just could have been off. Then we had the Civil War. Obviously gonna be the match of the night because of just the story that's been told. The Bloodline story just kept getting bigger and bigger, and it just obviously was gonna be an amazing match when you have the Bloodline going against each other. And it was very unpredictable because you felt like the Usos was gonna win, but then again, Roman and Solo, what were you gonna do with that? But like I said, it's gonna be a great match, and it definitely was. Now, there's a few issues I have with it, but we're going to discuss it afterwards. This match from top to bottom was great. London made sure Roman knew that they hated him, and it was just phenomenal. The whole fuck you Roman chants throughout the whole night, they just made sure Roman knew that they hated his ass. The match was insane. I loved every single moment of it. It just felt like a pay-per-view match. Of course it was. The Bloodline looked like everywhere. It just kept going as to like, yo, who is going to win this? Is it going to be Roman? Is it going to be the Usos? Is Solo going to get pinned? We were just all over the place. Emotions running high. It was just all over the place from top to bottom. Roman getting pissed off at the crowd because they just kept booing and saying stand up for Roman if you hate him. Like, we were truly getting something special. Now, I think I heard fuck Umaga chants. That's kind of fucked up, but that's just what I heard, but maybe I'm wrong. But the match was absolutely great. The fact that Jimmy and Jay just felt like, yo, this is going to be their moment. Roman tried to stop him. He tried everything in the book, but it just wasn't working out for him. He stacked them on top. They kicked out. That's when Roman started losing his mind. He didn't know what to do. He was struggling. He was like, what do I have to do to put them away? He even has Solo try to stop him. Super kick, kick out. It was just all over the place. And then the thing happened. Roman got pinned. Listen, I'm going to stay quiet about this. Roman got pinned. It was only right because, Jay and Roman, it all started with them and might as well end with Jay actually getting to pin Roman because obviously Jay's not going to win the title from Roman. So it all made sense. However, WWE has massive balls to do what they did tonight. Now, I spoke about this on Monday on TikTok. After Carmelo Hayes lost to Finn Balor, I said, I hate and it doesn't make sense when champions lose non-title matches, and especially when they get pinned. I feel like it is ridiculous, and especially when it comes to Roman Reigns. Now, don't get me wrong, I love that Roman finally lost. However, it was a non-title match, and Roman should not be losing non-title matches. Him getting pinned just fucked everything up. Why? Because this man went 3.5 years without getting pinned. So you mean to tell me 3.5 years was wasted for him to lose in a tag match with him getting pinned? You mean to tell me that? It's stupid. I hate when they do this. It doesn't make any sense. Like, you can have your champion lose in a tag match if he's not the one that getting pinned. But when Roman, your most dominant champion, the guy you made him the face, loses after 3.5 years in a non-title match, are you fucking serious? Like, bro, it doesn't make any sense. Why are champions losing? It doesn't make any sense. Why? Because let me tell you this, right? They're just going to build, obviously, Jay and Roman at SummerSlam. Jay's not going to win. I'm telling you this right now. Roman's not getting pinned 2 pay-per-views in a row. That's definitely not happening. But honestly, I don't even care at this point. I wanted it to be Cody. They ruined his momentum. He's most likely going to still do it. I think Solo can do it as well. But now it just doesn't matter anymore. Why? It's not going to be satisfying because Roman already lost. So whoever beats him for the title, does it really matter? All it matters is that, yeah, he finally lost it. But hey, it's not going to mean much because Roman already lost to somebody. Roman was already defeated. He didn't lose the titles, but he was defeated after 3.5 years. Wouldn't it make sense for him to be defeated and lose 3.5 years after losing the titles? That should have been the time that he lost. But the first time he loses in 3.5 years was in a tag match, and he was pinned clean. No roll up or nothing. Absolutely got a finisher done on him and pinned. It just doesn't. This is why I hate. I hate when champions lose like this. You can't book your champions to lose single matches. When it's non-title matches, you can't do that, especially when it comes to Roman Reigns, who's had the most dominant championship run ever. That's all I'm going to say about this. But overall, Money in the Bank 2023 was a great show. Was it a 10 out of 10 like every other person on TikTok and YouTube were talking about, all your favorite content creators? Some of them are going to be like, oh my God, 10 out of 10. Some of them will not keep it real with you, and I'm going to sit here and keep it real with you. The show was great. It wasn't a 10 out of 10. Jay won. Hooray. I was glad that he kind of pinned. But in realization and less focus on reality, it doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, it makes sense for Jay to pin him. However, you cannot have Roman being booked to lose non-title matches. It ruins his momentum, and that's what I hate about it. I wish that Roman would have lost the titles sooner, because if you were going to pull this bullshit, he shouldn't have the titles. But whatever. It's whatever. But the show wasn't bad. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Everything else flowed great. It was a solid show. I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't enjoy it from top to bottom. The Civil War match was great. I just had that little issue. But that's all I got to say. I'm just going to keep it real with you guys. I don't want to fake anything. So that's my 2023 Money in the Bank reactions. What do you think? Did you guys enjoy it? Do you think it was the right thing to do to Jay to beat Roman in a non-title match? Let me know in the comments. This has been NezReacts, and I'll see you in my next video. Love you guys.